water, essential for survival, vital for life, one of the basic necessities and rights of all mankind. The Horn of Africa is suffering one of the worst droughts in 60 years, with the severe lack of access to clean water for drinking and cleaning. It is estimated that approximately 900 million people do not have an improved access to drinking water. This is roughly 1 in 8 of the world's population, out of which 85% live in rural areas. This means 1 in 8 people in the world do not have access to safe water. 2.6 billion people in the world do not have access to adequate sanitation. This is almost 2/5 of the world's population. Approximately 4 billion cases of diarrhea each year cause 2.2 million deaths, mostly among children under the age of 5. This is equivalent to 1 child dying every 15 seconds. These deaths represent approximately 15% of all child deaths under the age of 5 in developing countries. At any given time, close to half the people in the developing world are suffering from one or more of the main diseases associated with dirty water and inadequate sanitation, such as cholera, hepatitis A, dysentery, polio, E. coli, diarrhea, typhoid, salmonella food poisoning, guinea worm, intestinal parasites like hookworm and tapeworm, and trachoma. Half the hospital beds in developing countries are filled with people suffering from the diseases associated with poor water sanitation and hygiene. Africa has the lowest total water supply coverage of any region, with only 62% of the population having access to improved water supply. We have often seen the images of people fetching water from open water wells. This water that they collect from these wells is called groundwater. It is used around the world for drinking and domestic purposes, meeting irrigation needs, and also contributes to the environmental flows by providing plants and crops natural moisture. But open wells in conditions of drought can dry up, and replenishing them is no easy task. That's why Al Khair Foundation has started a new project to develop deep borehole water wells in the Horn of Africa. They will provide safe and clean water for drinking and cleaning to hundreds of thousands of people across the region. As well as being replenishable, they'll be able to store masses of water, ensuring that even through the drought, water will be stored and accessible to all the people. Groundwater is primarily water located beneath the ground surface of the Earth's crust. This water seeps into soil pores and collects in the cracks and openings of rocks and rock formations. Groundwater is recharged naturally through rainwater and snow, and to an extent by surface water at rivers and lakes, as water evaporates from oceans, seas and rivers into the air, creating dense clouds, then forming rain clouds. The rainwater naturally soaks into the ground, through the soil and slowly through the layers of dirt and rock, being stored in large amounts. It eventually flows to the surface naturally, and though this process often occurs near springs and seeps, it can form oases and wetlands. Groundwater is withdrawn from the earth for agricultural and industrial use by constructing and operating extraction wells. This makes it an important resource that can act as a natural storage that can buffer against shortages of surface water, as enduring times of drought. To create the deep boreholes, specialist machinery and equipment will have to be brought into the regions worst affected. The drilling of a deep borehole is a large operation, which requires the use of heavy-duty machinery. Each deep borehole is dug to an average of 200 feet below the Earth's surface. This ensures the capability for it to provide to hundreds of thousands of people for an entire generation. Each deep borehole water well facility will cost £100,000. This includes the building of the facility, the installation of all necessary equipment, and the maintenance of the facility. Each deep borehole water well will serve between 100 to 300,000 people and will be able to provide clean and safe water for them during their lifetimes. A deep bore water well is completed by installing a vertical pipe deep into the ground and a well screen to keep the borehole from caving, also helping to prevent surface contaminants from entering the borehole, and protects any installed pump from drawing in sand and sediment. The Deep Borehole Water Well project comprises of many uses and applications taken into account. These include the deep water well, a power station, a generator house, water reservoirs, water towers, syntax loft tanks, water filtration plants with filtered water supply systems, and waste water supplies for cattle and other livestock. The deep well. This well is dug deep into the earth, which meets under the ground's natural water reservoir. This well provides an access to this water by sophisticated pipeline engineering from the surface. The water extracted from the ground is stored in the large water reservoirs. The water reservoirs are situated on the surface of the plant and can hold up to 20 to 30,000 litres of water. Water is also stored in the water towers that serve as an extra water reserve facility. The transportation of the water from the ground well to the reservoirs is done by energy supplied to large motors from the generator room. This also serves power to other electrical equipments to different parts of the plant facility, like the water filtration plants. The water reservoirs will be capable of supplying water to carriers, like large water trucks, which can transport water in large tanks to affected areas. This water can be used for basic utilities like washing and cooking. Another part of the project facility is the power plant. This power plant houses the water filtration plant. The power plant uses the water from the reservoirs and wells to generate eco-energy for the generator room. The power supplies are equally distributed from these houses. The water filtration plant also serves as an access of water directly for the public consumption. This is carried out at the water plant by taps. Here, the general public can get access to pure water for drinking purposes. This purified water is also stored in the loft water tanks for bulk supplies. In the whole process, wastewater is also incurred. Wastewater, not ideal for human consumption, is transferred to the cattle and livestock section. Here, animals can be brought for drinking this water. Boreholes are generally drilled to function for a lifespan of between 20 to 50 years, making it a long-term benefit to the people who it will provide for. Improved groundwater supplies, particularly drilled and hand-dug water wells, provide a significant proportion of rural dwellers with access to safe water within a reasonable distance of their homes. Al Khair Foundation appeals to you all to donate towards the Deep Borehole Water Well project. Each deep borehole water well facility will cost £100,000. This ensures the capability for it to provide to hundreds of thousands of people for an entire generation and will save countless lives. Inshallah, with your continued support, we can bring clean and safe water to the suffering peoples in the Horn of Africa.